May 2026. How do you convert between wealth and income tax? If a government imposes a wealth tax of 1%, what's the equivalent in income tax? It's clear from the way most politicians talk about this subject that they not only don't know the answer, but don't even realize there's such a question. In fact, the conversion rate between them is about 20. A wealth tax of 1% is equivalent to an income tax of 20%. To convert between wealth and income tax rates, you have to divide by the rate of return on capital. The conversion rate of 20 comes from assuming that the risk-free rate of return is 5%. Historically, that's an optimistic assumption. 4% might be more realistic, but 5% will do. If we run through an example, it will be clear how this works. Suppose you have $100, you're getting a 5% rate of return on this capital, and there's a 20% income tax. The 5% rate of return means at the end of 1 year, your $100 has made you another $5. But you have to pay 20% of that, or $1,000 in income tax, so your after-tax income is $4. At the end of the year after paying taxes, you have $100. Now suppose instead of a 20% income tax, there's a 1% wealth tax. At the end of the year, your $100 has made you another $5 as before. But that year, you had to pay 1% of your $100 or $1,000 wealth tax. So at the end of the year, you have $99,504. Each 1% of wealth tax is equivalent to 20% of income tax. It's clear that politicians don't get this from the way they talk about a mere 1% wealth tax. None of them would speak of adding a mere 20% to the income tax rate, even though that's, mathematically the same thing. Politicians understand that an additional 20% income tax would be a lot, and indeed a U.S. state that added 20% to its top income tax rate would have extraordinarily high taxes. Currently, the country with the highest marginal income tax rate is Denmark, at 60.5%. The top U.S. federal tax rate is 37%, and the median state income tax rate is Oklahoma's, which is 4.75%. So in the median case, a state adding an additional 20% in income tax would have a total marginal tax rate of 37%, 4.75%. In the median case, U.S. state politicians talking about adding a mere 1% wealth tax are talking about causing the residents of their state to have the highest taxes in the world. That's not the sort of decision you make lightly. That's why I think few politicians currently understand how to convert between wealth and income taxes. You can tell from the way they talk about the subject that they don't understand the momentousness of what they're proposing, but I'm optimistic that we can teach them. The answer's not hard to understand once you realize the question exists.